Hello guys, so this is my second test with the ExpressLRS Buggy. So what I did this time is I replaced the FPV system. In my previous test I had the 25 milliwatts super light FPV cam, and the ExpressLRS range well exceeded the range of the FPV cam. So this time I used a Caddx Ant camera. So that's what I had on hand. I know that it's may not be the best camera for this setup, but it's wide angle and shows the front of the car a little better than the previous one. It doesn't look like it performs super well in low light, but today it's nice. It's not really sunny or too drafty, so it should work fine. And I modified the cam case to match the new camera, and then I added a Jhemcu 600 milliwatts. This is a used item that I had on hand, and so this can go up to 600 milliwatts, but these get super hot. So not having the airflow that you have in an FPV wing or a drone, I felt like I should add a cooling system to this. So I added this 25 millimeter tiny cooling fan to the top. So I 3D printed all the parts. So the board is sandwiched between the fan, and there's a lower plate that I can basically use to attach it to the top of the car. This car has very limited space under the shell, so I couldn't really fit it in there. Even the cable I had to, the first one that I made didn't fit, so I had to build a flexible one. And the reason that I need this is because I can't feed this VTX from the BEC of the ESC, because that's 5 volts. This starts at 2S, and so 7.4 volts. So I need to feed it directly from the battery. So for that reason I have this intermediate piece here that I added my cap on here, and I also take the power for the VTX, send it over here, and the VTX also powers up the camera, and the fan is actually powered from the BEC of the ESC. So that's a 5 volt fan, so that's fine like that. So I will, if it works fine, I will probably modify this top fin to incorporate this piece in the middle, and maybe to make maybe a slightly larger fins as protection around it, and go from there. For now, to be able to get the antenna straight, I just put like a rubber band there. I want to see how it performs. I'm hoping that you guys can see at this angle with my glasses. So yeah, right now the VTX is at 400 milliwatt setting. It gets super hot at 600, so I just wanted to test it at 400 first and see what it does, and then how far it goes, and now from there I will just see what happens. Again, this is a MJX HyperGo 16207 Buggy, my favorite 116 Buggy. Really nice car with, and 3S setup, brushless. It's smaller though, it has limited space, but so far so good. I mean, the camera fits in there, and I have the VTX at the top over here. So yeah, let's test it and see how it goes. Again, I'm going to be testing it with my Radio Master, the right stick, throttle right left, and my Sky Zone goggles. 5.8 gigahertz analog, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks. Alright guys, powered it up, and as usual I'm gonna go with these cams first. This is a really fast little buggy, guys. It's really okay. So let's do FPV. Alright friends, so here's the deal. I first tested it at 400 milliwatts, and it seemed to be okay. It goes further than the 25 millimeter VTX. Was it as far as I wished it would be? it wasn't, but I took it to you know, a further point, and as it starts cutting off, I came back, so I switched it over to 600 milliwatts, and the VTX held up, so there's no overheating related shutdown or anything like that. And it felt a little better. I was able to take it a little further, and you know, I took it to places where I never went with 25 milliwatts in this parking lot. And it's not like a drag shot, so there are trees, and actually the parking lot turns towards the left, and you know, I mean, I didn't have visual contact with the car most of that time, so it's pretty good. If I had visual contact, it would be much better. And then I took it into the closed garage, and again, it performed much better. I was able to drive in there, and I didn't drive too much in there because there were some people, and you know, I didn't want to bother anybody, but it was good. So I'm very happy. Yeah, it's a really good setup. ExpressLRS long range, 6 milliwatt VTX, and again, this ride confirmed that I'm super comfortable with that right stick for throttle and steering. So I really enjoyed it. I can control the car pretty good with this setup, better than, for me, better than the gun style transmitters. So yeah, and you know, it brakes really well, it drives really well, the setup works well. One additional information while I was working on this, when I was putting on the cooling fan, first I put it on to pull air out of the area that the VTX is in, which I believed would provide a better cooling. Then I decided to research it, and both techniques are used, but in the end I realized that if you want to cool down a particular area, it's better to blow on it. It's better to pull the air out and let the cool air come in from all different directions if you're trying to cool down a larger area. So in this case, this VTX, at the top there's a part that you can actually boil an egg on it. When you turn these on, they get so hot, and it's funny for me a little bit because in these cars you have fans on the motor, some of them has fans on the ESC, which they get hot, I know, but you know, the heat level of the aerial FPV and RC gear is, as far as my experience goes, much higher. So you know, I feel them out and they don't feel too hot to me, but we still have the cooling fans and stuff. But these VTXs, you can literally burn your finger on it when they get hot. So if you don't have the airflow, because the aerial gear needs to be light, so they design them smaller, lighter, and you know, it comes with its consequences. First I thought of putting like a heat sink on it, but then I decided on the fan. It felt a little more effective to me. It's probably lighter than a heat sink. So yeah, Caddx Ant camera. The camera is wide angle. You know, I would probably prefer something a little not as wide angle to see better. When you get used to it, when you get used to how you see through the FPV cam, you know, and you get used to the area, it's, you know, easier. But at first it was a little harder for me compared to the other camera to see with this camera. But yeah, I'll probably try another camera later, a larger camera with a different setup. But yeah, overall very happy with the experiment. Learned a lot, had fun. I'll probably have a little more fun with this little beast here. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.